Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Barbie, starring Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Will Ferrell, and a bunch of other people that I can't name on the top of my head, directed by Greta Gerwig. Now, before I get into this movie, I heard about this meme called Barbenheimer, and it's funny because I'm reviewing this and Oppenheimer, and I went to both movies right as soon as I got back from Comic Con, and well, I'll talk about Oppenheimer when I get there, but for now, let's talk about this movie. Now, I went twice, and was it as good as I thought it was going to be? Let's get into this movie. We open with the scene from 2001 A Space Odyssey, where the apes were smashing bones in the middle of the desert, but the only difference is it's little girls smashing dolls when they see their stereotypical Barbie, played by Margot Robbie. And this scene kind of made me laugh, not just because it was a reference to 2001 A Space Odyssey, but it was also in the trailer. But the narrator, played by Helen Mirren, said something amusing about little girls playing with dolls. She said, "Ask your mother," which made me laugh as Barbie was invented in 1959, as I had to look that up on Google while watching the movie, which is an interesting fun fact, as she changed everything. And we learn about the Barbies, and we go to the Barbie land, and stereotypical Barbie loves her best day ever, as she's so delightful. As this is starting out delightful, and as she drives her car and says hi to everyone, like even all the Barbies and all the Kens all over Barbie Land, and the main Ken, played by Ryan Gosling, while we're introduced to Asian Ken, played by Simu Liu from Shang-Chi, as well as a bunch of other Barbies, and Kens and Alan, played by Michael Cera, and these characters are delightful, as they're very relatable. The Barbies and Kens, as well as Alan, hang out as stereotypical Barbie's dream house and have a party there and have girls' night every single night and dances and have a lot of fun until stereotypical Barbie thinks about death and a curse happens starting on the next day with her feet, takes a cold shower, burning her waffles, has had bad, has bad breath, having expired milk, and can't fly down anymore, which is an interesting premise for a Barbie movie. Stereotypical Barbie has no choice but to go to Weird Barbie, played by Kate McKinnon. And why is she called that? Because she does the splits when to the real world, and she tells stereotypical Barbie to go to the real world to find a little girl who played with her to fix her feet, and to go to Mattel, which is where Barbie was invented by a character whom I'll bring up later in the show. Meanwhile, the main Ken makes a bet with Asian Ken to join stereotypical Barbie on the trip, and he joins her to go to Los Angeles. And this is when the movie kicks into gear, and I do like this world as it was fun to watch. They get to Los Angeles and see people are staring at them until they go to construction workers and brings up the privates. And that felt very suggestive, as that was a little inappropriate for the little girls in the audience. And they get arrested for some pervert slapping her in the booty, and Barbie stereotypical Barbie punches him in the face, and stealing some clothes with the main Ken, letting them keep it. And I'm actually enjoying this movie, as director Greta Gerwig does a good job at making a little girl's childhood sweet and magical. Stereotypical Barbie gets an idea where the kid is at while at the Mattel corporate. Aaron gets news about a Barbie and Ken are in LA area, while Gloria, played by America Ferrera, learns about Barbie and Ken is in town. When Aaron tells the Mattel CEO, played by Will Ferrell, Barbie and Ken are in town, as stereotypical Barbie goes to the school, while with the main Ken to talk to Sasha, played by Ariana Greenblatt, and she comes off pretty mean to stereotypical Barbie by calling her a fascist, while the main Ken picks out books from the library and learns he can rule the world, while Barbie comes with Mattel as Gloria sees Sasha talking with stereotypical Barbie, and picks her up and going to the CEO and asks her to into the giant box as she runs away from the CEO to get to a room of the real inventor, Ruth Handler, played by Rhea Perlman. And these scenes are pretty funny while Ken goes to Barbie Land. While when stereotypical Barbie and the Mattel CEO bump into each other and run in their own way, and I thought, really with that? Because it was kind of funny, and I do like they made someone play Ruth Handler. She unfortunately passed away in 2002, as Rhea Perlman does a good job at playing the character as she pulls it off tremendously. Gloria and Sasha pick up stereotypical Barbie and get away from Mattel and lose them, while stereotypical Barbie takes Gloria and Sasha to Barbie Land and sees something different as the main Ken turned into a bully as he wants to change Barbie Land to Ken Land, as he takes advantage of the Barbies as well as the women like the real world did. And this movie is working pretty good as the cinematography in Barbie Land was so pretty and the real world looked interesting. Stereotypical Barbie is sad no thanks to the main Ken being a brute by throwing her clothes out and blames Gloria and Sasha, and they walk away as Alan joins them until Weird Barbie comes in and helps Stereotypical Barbie, while Gloria and Sasha come back with Alan, and Gloria makes a powerful speech as the Barbies have an idea to change from Kens to Barbies again, and tells them the same speech to the other Barbies. I really did like that speech, Gloria said in that scene, and the script is a good time. They successfully get all the Barbies back to who they were, and stereotypical Barbie learns the main Ken is in love with her, and she pretends to be the main Ken's girlfriend as he plays guitar on her for 4 hours, which was pretty funny as all the Kens sing and play guitar with their Barbies and turn them against each other, while the main Ken and his group of Kens go to war with the other Kens, which is confusing enough as it is, but at the same time, it was pretty funny. The Mattel people are in Barbie Land while the Barbies take back their land, and this is a good time at the movies. The Kens arrive back and see Kenland switched back to Barbie Land, and the main Ken cries with the stereotypical Barbie cheering him up, while the main Ken wants to kiss stereotypical Barbie, but he doesn't know who he is, and she tells him to learn who he is, and that is a pretty good message. The Mattel CEO and his group of corporate people have a tickle time as they need to change as one of the Barbies apologizes to Weird Barbie, and Gloria brings up an invention of ordinary Barbie and stereotypical Barbie talking with Ruth, and stereotypical Barbie decides to go to the real world in Los Angeles and going to see a gynecologist interview as a human being, and a strong woman named Barbara Handler, who happens to be the daughter of Ruth. And the climax was quite a pleasant surprise, as this movie was, at the end of the day, delightful. Now it's time for my rating. I'll give this movie a 8.6 out of 10. This movie was absolutely delightful, as I was pleasantly surprised on how good it was, while it made me laugh at times, but when we get to the real world, it was a little suggestive to the point it could be a little inappropriate for smaller children, and just that one scene in the movie. Director Greta Gerwig does a good job at making little girls' childhood sweet and magical, and I did like how funny this movie can be at times, and I like they bring in Ruth Handler, the inventor of Barbie, but being played by an actress in the elder years, as she pulls it off tremendously. The cinematography in Barbie Land was pretty, while the real world was shot interestingly. And at the end of the day, the movie was fun, surprising, and a delight, as it's a strong recommendation. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, or rejoining me for Barbie, because I reviewed Greta Gerwig's previous work, Lady Bird and Little Women. And until she ever makes another one, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.